This video is sponsored by Pure Drivetrain Solutions. Pure Drivetrain Solutions are the industry leaders in aftermarket transmissions and the master builders of the ZF Ace. The world's fastest Mark V Supers are powered by Pure Drivetrain Solutions. Depending on your platform, they can upgrade your transmission to handle over 1500 horsepower. They are the only transmission upgrade I would use in my car. Hi, what's up guys, and welcome to the Speed Edition. So it's been a while since I posted. It's been about 6 months, and that's because I had a bit of a unfortunate situation. So I was filming Mike's track spec Cadillac ATS-V, and we were driving up to the top of my favourite mountain, and I decided that I wanted to show him that B58 power was superior to Cadillac power. So I did a third gear wide open throttle pull up the hill, and suddenly there was a big puff of white smoke, and then there was no power. So I got the car towed to Raskin, and Raskin found that the engine was seized. So what do? So I thought at first I was going to get another stock motor, but because I'm a speed addict and I was pushing about 700 horsepower to the wheels, I'd only blow the stock motor again, because we're basically at the limits of the stock motor. So I decided to get the engine built. I've been researching BMW engine builders for about 2 years, and my research told me that the best engine builder was Billiam Mason from BMB Autowerks in New Jersey. He has a reputation for taking his time and being meticulous about his engine builds. And not just that, his N54 powered 135i was the first N54 to crack 1000 wheel horsepower. So the guy knows what he's doing. So I reached out to Billiam, and after some discussions, he recommended that I go for his 1000 horsepower capable built B58. It consists of coated custom CP pistons with 11:1 compression that's higher than stock, a built head with the Supertech valve train, ARP hardware throughout, including ARP 625 head studs, Carrillo rods, upgraded wrist pins and coated bearings. This engine would be a beast. One thing to consider when dailying a car with a built motor is that forged pistons made for high horsepower applications are made from 2618 alloy. 2618 alloy is a low silicon content alloy that is designed to resist extreme combustion, high horsepower and higher boost. The only downside is that it has a higher thermal expansion rate than the OEM pistons, which means that startup can be noisy and they can be prone to wear if the car is pushed hard when the oil is not fully up to temperature. I'm here at Pure Turbos, and they're about to turn my Garrett GTX 3584 RS into a hybrid. I've got a GT35 turbine housing, and they're going to bore it out and upgrade the compressor wheel from 62 to 66 millimeters. It should now have a flow rate of just over 35 pounds per minute. We're going to be making some jam. It took about 6 weeks for my motor to return from Billiam. It was then over to Raskin to install it.
Alright, so I'm putting the spark plugs and coils in this now, but this is a new fresh motor, so before we start it up or try to attempt to start it, we make sure the spark plugs are out, and we use a starter to turn the motor over with the oil in it so we can get some oil circulation through the motor, because we don't want to dry fire the motor. You know, we want some oil throughout the motor in the bottom end and the rods and pistons, so we turn it over multiple times without the spark plugs especially, because then we get no compression built up on the rod bearings and stuff too. But we just went through and did that oil priming procedure, and then now we just got to go through and put spark plugs in and then, you know, see how she fires up right now. So
we are about to fire her up. Oh, that is so good. Nothing coming out of that tailpipe. There's nothing coming out of the tailpipe. It's so clean. Yeah.
Kitty.
It is, man.
Nice.
It sounds like OEM.
Exactly like OEM. Almost exactly like OEM.
Now that sounds beautiful. Sounds exactly like the stock motor. I can't believe it. It sounds so smooth.
Pretty much.
The next step was for Raskin to brake in the engine, initially using Amsol braking oil. He checked that there were no leaks or codes. Then after 25 miles he swapped the oil for conventional 10W40 for another 100 miles while gradually giving it some boost. Finally, we switched to 5W40 motor to complete the braking for 500 miles on wastegate spring pressure. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Speed Addiction.